and all the online participants. Thank you for joining us with the first annual user review of the Copernicus data space. And before I introduce you to our service team, let me welcome Betlem Rosich from European Space Agency to speak to you some welcome words. Betlem, the floor is yours.
Good morning, Jurry. Good morning, everybody, and good morning to all the participants. It is really my great pleasure to welcome you to the Copernicus Data Access Ecosystem User Review, the first one. And I would like to start by saying that we celebrated a few days ago the 10 years of the Sentinel-1A launch, and together with that also the 10 years of the Copernicus Data Access managed by ESA and with the great support of European industry. And a lot has happened during these 10 years. We have seen over these 10 years the big evolution of the data access in general for the Earth explorers, Earth observation for Copernicus data in general, and a big revolution in terms of data volumes and in terms of user uptake. We have today tens of petabytes available to the users, and in a few years, in 2028, we'll move to hundreds of petabytes of Copernicus data available to the users. From ESA perspective, we are really relying on European industry to make this data available, on the capability of European industry to provide the best service to the users. And in that respect, we need also to prepare for the future, to prepare for this huge amount of Copernicus data that is being place with the support of the European Commission. And we look at the future, and this is our ambition for the future, to make sure that this Copernicus data remains available with the highest accessibility and is capable of contributing to the European objectives for Green Deal and for the European economic growth as well. For this, we need to ensure that data access and availability of Copernicus remains efficient, remains cost-effective, and together with that, it is also our ambition to reduce the carbon footprint of the operations of the availability of the Copernicus data. For that, we need to put in place new solutions with the support of industry, with the support of Commission, looking to the future on how to make the Copernicus data efficient, accessible, and the best way usable for all kinds of purposes. The Copernicus, the data access is really the last mile of the Copernicus operations. They rely on the capability of European industry from the satellite operations up to the generation of the highest data quality for all kinds of use in Europe and worldwide. We see today the number of users has evolved over the last 10 years from really an access that was initially scientific access to hundreds of thousands of users registered, hundreds of thousands of users using Copernicus data, and our ambition is that this is growing in the future. The Copernicus data access and the Copernicus data space ecosystem is not an isolated system, is not an isolated service, is part of a larger, much larger ecosystem worldwide and also in Europe. And it is our objective that this is really contributing to the creation of a European ecosystem together with other national initiatives, other European initiatives, including Destiny in particular, in order to create an ecosystem where European industry users worldwide can profit from the Copernicus data in the maximum way. So we really rely on you today to contribute today and in the coming months and in the coming years to provide your feedback. We need your feedback to understand and the evolution of the needs from a user perspective and how we best can adapt and contribute to make the data accessible and the best quality for all kinds of purposes. We rely on your feedback. We expect that today you'll have a view of what has been done over the last year as part of the Copernicus Data Access Service team. They have put in place a great service. It's the result of 10 years of experience, 10 years of lessons learned on the Copernicus operations and on the Copernicus Data Access. This is materializing on the need for scalability, the need for innovation, and really a willingness to continue this evolution and a willingness to continue these changes and adaptation to the needs, to the evolution to make this data as accessible as possible. For this, since the Copernicus Data Access is not alone in this worldwide perspective, it is essential to have the evolution, to have your understanding, to have your feedback also on what will be the priorities, what will be your recommendations on how best to evolve this service towards the future. We are looking at putting in place big changes because what will be coming in the next years will be again a new change of paradigm and will require another big changes. They will be announced, they will be made available through all channels and in particular through the Copernicus Data Access service. We really expect that this will be an occasion, an opportunity to exchange, an opportunity for getting your feedback, an opportunity for putting in place even a better service and preparing for the future. So on behalf of the office, on behalf of the complete service team, I would like to thank for all has been done over the last year in the Copernicus Data Access Space ecosystem, and I would like again to welcome you to this user review. Looking forward for your feedback, looking forward for your inputs, and I would like to really pass the message that it is our objective to take into account all feedbacks as part of this review through the service team, through the team managed by these systems and a larger industrial team, to take into account your recommendations with the aim to continuously improve the service, continuously improve the Copernicus data access managed by ESA with the trust of the Commission and with the support of European industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Betlem, for the very good introduction and the objectives of the meeting. And I think all of us, we're also very privileged because the data we use is free and open, and also now adding to that a whole set of services that are made available free to the user community, and that is thanks to the European Commission and the funding they provide. So I welcome Daniel Quintart of the European Commission DG DEFIS. Daniel, your welcome words, please.
Hello, Jurry. Hello to everybody. Many thanks for being there and registering to this very important day. Copernicus is a European Union program where you have different components. You have the component from the satellite, and you have service component, thematic service component with land, marine, atmosphere, climate change, emergency, and security. So it's an overall program relying on satellite data. It has a free, full, and open data policy and a motto. The motto is Europe, Eyes on Earth. In reality, since I've started working for the Copernicus program, there is another motto. The one that is repeated all the time and the one which is, in fact, very difficult. This motto is, it's a user-driven program. And that's hard. It's very hard. You need to be listening to your users. You have seen the ambition. You've heard Betlem about all the ambition, and there's a lot of things to do, many things to do. So being a user-driven program, it means listening to the users. And this is really this type of day which are key. Of course, for this component, provided by ESA on the data dissemination, and the ambition is again very high. Copernicus data space ecosystem, bringing the system up to an ecosystem, having users coming on top of the data and the service proposed. Very ambition, very difficult to reach. So I think today is really will be listening with attention, and we are all going to be listening to attention. A special thanks, of course, for ESA for the huge part it is playing in the program as it is relying on satellite data, and of course to the consortium providing the data access service, the data space ecosystem. Many thanks, Jurry. Back to you.
Thank you, Dania. Yes, then first let me properly introduce myself. So my name is Jurry de la Mar. I'm with T-Systems Deutsche Telekom, responsible for science and space programs, and the implementation manager for the Copernicus data space ecosystem. Working from day one to make all this possible, but that is only possible with a very, very good team. You know that we have a service team that supports the Copernicus data space, a consortium that from the very start set this all up. It consists of 5 European Earth observation champions, I would say, and 2 of the leading cloud providers in Europe. So a very European team. But before I introduce them to you, I would also like to introduce 2 people here in the room that are really from the ESA team here. It shows really, because they are working with us every day on this, the commitment. So the data scientist, I would say, Georgia, yep, and Razvan, the technical manager for the data space. So if you need to have some insights, here they are to talk during the breaks. And of course, the online people, I will show later how questions can be addressed also to them directly. So coming to the service team. So first of all, I have to say a great thank you to one of the team. It's Vito. Vito is from Belgium, one of the leading organizations supporting Earth observation in Europe. And they organize all this meeting. So we have here in the room Marketa, we have in the back Dennis, and in the front Patricia, who helped you with the registration, and potentially a number of other online that joined from Vito. Then we have in the room, we have Synergize, several colleagues. You will see them on stage later, so I will not introduce them, that will come. And we have a big team here in the room also from Cloudfaro, and most of them you will also see on stage. And of course, our company, T-Systems, one of my colleagues is also here with me to answer as much questions as we can today. So you heard from ESA and Commission the importance of this program, and for us, therefore, it's an enormous privilege to have been entrusted with this task, and we take that very, very serious, this commitment to continue this success of Copernicus for the next years. And in light of this, and before we start, hopefully with a day of very good exchange and experience, we would also like to say something else, because we want to be honest with you, with the user community, and I think we have to first apologize for some major incidents that happened in the last 2 weeks, where we know that it was of serious impact to the users, because our team, are also very large users of the Copernicus data space. Yeah, we eat our own dog food. So we knew exactly what happened, what was the impact, and that it was, of course, really not nice after basically 1 year of no serious incidents. And meanwhile, we have understood quite well what has happened, why these anomalies are trying our best to do everything that we avoid this in future. And of course, first of all, that comes with the understanding of what has happened, and to build now extra resilience into the platform, that the platform will become stable and more stable in the future. So what can you expect from today's event? You have already heard the objectives. I would quickly introduce you to the agenda. And show you, of course, also the worldwide community. I'm not sure how many users we now have online. Maketa, could you give us an update? 210. Okay, so it's growing. And of course, that's the character of the meeting, so it is a very open day. And we hope also some more people will join for the other sessions. So with the agenda, we start with, I think, a very good update, retrospective, as well as a future outlook on the data space. So what have we done and what are we intending to do? But a large part of the agenda is dedicated to live discussions. And to support that, we will use the Slido tool. I think most of you in the science community and out there will know it. And you will be able to use the Q&A function in the Slido. And the QR code, you can easily scan it on your mobile or other device to get access to it. And we will also keep that QR code on the screen during those live panel discussions to give room for your questions, and you can quickly go back and log in. So that will happen. First session is about 11:15. And we will also use Slido for some polls during the day, because we also want to know more of you, also where you see priorities going forward. And we will have, after some of the sessions, we will have then a certain poll which will directly show you the result. And also for the online participants, we thought very nice to then see what is the main feedback of the community. So maybe just try to log in now. I will let this on the screen because we have already one question that we start with. The question, which country are you joining from? Which is for us, of course, a very nice indication of how global the meeting will be today and where the most people come from. Ah, great. It's filling up. So after the morning live panel discussion, we will then have a very, I think, interesting part which will deal with the growth of the ecosystem. How can we further grow it? And everybody knowing about ecosystem knows that it takes a lot of energy and collaboration to grow ecosystems, because most of them all start small, like this one. And we will have 3 user reports on that, users that already use the ecosystem and what it meant for and what it means for them. And we will also show you how you can join yourself the ecosystem and what it can bring. And after that, we will have the lunch. And after lunch, it will be user stories, users really using the Copernicus data, what it has meant for them and what they have changed with using Copernicus data. Very much looking to that, forward to that, because it's a very diverse set of user stories you will see. And yeah, at the end of the day, after another live panel discussion, we will then, of course, summarize all the feedback, hopefully in a good way from today, and share that with you. But of course, everything will be documented, so we will also put that online later, so you can revisit when you get back home to see what was the results. So our objectives, again, for today is, first of all, to listen to you, to all the participants online, and to share, sharing, and then make up some future plans together, and maybe to be a little bit daring in that respect, what will be the priorities, and look after it that we really achieve what we then set out as the goals. So be caring about the Copernicus data space ecosystem. So sharing, daring, and caring. I wish you a great day. Thank you.